And we begin at noon with tracking a weather alert day with gusty winds triggering a red flag warning in the valley and snow starting to hit the mountains, closing down some roadways. Let's go ahead and start with the wind now causing power outages for thousands. We took this video this morning from Roseville, Vacaville and North Sacramento. PG&E says a big focal point for our area is Solano County. And right now we are seeing the damage already starting from this wind. Let's begin in Stockton. The wind knocked down this tree from over a home. You can see the trees completely uprooted, that tree landing on the rooftop there. This is in the area of Ponce de Leon Avenue, and you can see the tree on its side and the roof of the home taking some damage. The wind knocking down a tree on I-5 and Sutterville in Sacramento County during this morning's commute. It just landed on the shoulder, but some of it still obstructed part of the right lane there. And that wind also kicking up dust. Take a look at E-Commerce Way in Sacramento. Wow, you can clearly see all of the dust hitting the streets here, blowing the trees sideways. Cars driving through the area, leaving a trail of dust behind them as well. I know I've sneezed several times this morning. I don't know about you. And here's a live look right now from our sky camera. You can see the dust in the horizon there right over Sacramento. And you can also see that clear brown line there of dust right there near the water in the distance. That flag on top of that building, it usually moves around like that because it's so high, but our camera is shaking around and that doesn't normally happen. Now near Vacaville, this is the dust that we can see kicking up along Interstate 80 this morning. You can barely see the cars on the road there in the distance. PG&E has started shutting off power for thousands of customers in 23 counties. The main areas, the Sierra, Foothills, North Bay and North Coast. We do have a live look from their outage map here as we zoom in for you. The areas with those purple triangles, almost looks like a hot pink there, they're experiencing the planned power shutoffs right now. And you can see many of them in and around the Vacaville area as we zoom in a little bit closer. This started about 4 o'clock this morning. The company says fire danger from the wind has sparked their decision from their meteorologists. A resource center has been set up at Solano Community College for those who lost power in the Vacaville area. That's the only county in our area affected right now, but of course that could change. Meteorologist Melanie Hunter is tracking it for us right now. Melanie?
Yeah, a lot of those areas you mentioned are some of the spots where I've noticed we've had some of the strongest wind gusts since midnight. So areas that are in Solano, Yolo counties like North Winters, a 49-mile-per-hour gust, and this was updated as of 11:30 this morning. Yolo County Airport, 47-mile-per-hour gusts. Vacaville, where you saw some of that dust that was kicked up, 46-mile-per-hour gusts, staying gusty through Fairfield and Davis as well, and even through Stockton, where you saw that down tree, 40-mile-per-hour gust at times. So because of the strong wind, that's why we're calling today a KCRA weather alert day, due to the down trees that you also saw, limbs you've likely seen if you've been driving around, maybe even experienced some difficult driving conditions, really had to grip that steering wheel, and along with that, the power outages that we're also mentioning. So how long is this going to stick with us? Well, here's a look at that wind timeline. You do stay that for the majority of the day, we stay with this elevated wind. It's not really until we get past sunset that the wind will ease, but we'll still have breezy conditions that stay with us. Let's take a look at our futurecast. So this morning we've been monitoring the western side of the valley where it's really been gusty. As we continue into the early afternoon, I do think we'll have to pay attention to areas like the San Joaquin Valley and in some of the southern foothill communities, including Tuolumne and Calaveras County, when the wind gusts could be again above the 40-mile-per-hour range, and that's when we could see more of those down trees. Futurecast pattern shows that it will still stay breezy past sunset, and our attention will also turn to some gusty conditions, especially along the ridge tops throughout the Sierra through the overnight.
All right, well, Melanie, from the wind to let's talk about the snow now, Mel. And on the left, we've got to look at Donner Lake. That's our Caltrans camera on Interstate 80. On the right, that's Myers and Highway 50. And you can see how much snow we're seeing on the ground there. Highway 4, the Ebbets Pass area is closed right now because of the snow. And then we have an alert wildfire cameras to show you, showing more of the Sierra. On the left, we've got Sierra at Tahoe. And then on the right, Hawkins Pier near Markleyville, where you can see the snow and the wind really blowing blowing there right across the camera lens. Melanie also tracking that snow for us. Mel?
Yeah, it made for a slushy mess earlier this morning, and right now you're starting to see it taper off as we take our Doppler radar and rewind over the past 6 hours. You see just some light flurries where even earlier some rumbles of thunder, but a lot of that was across state lines where we were seeing some of that slushy mess. So traveling toward Reno and Carson City. Closer look, and you do see it is starting to taper off as we take a look at the Doppler radar, just seeing some spotty areas where you're still picking up on some of those flurries. I want to take you to a closer look, and hopefully one of our cameras will pop up so you can see what it looks like if you're headed out along Highway 267. So here's that current view as you head past North Star. You do see, if you take a close look at the road, it is still a little damp if you're planning to travel through portions of this Sierra, and those temperatures along with this system that's brought the flurries has also made it a lot chillier throughout the Sierra with those temperatures below the freezing mark. So if you are planning to travel through some of those spots, could be a little icy at times. But our futurecast pattern does show that I think the bulk of this activity has passed us. It was earlier for this morning commute, and as we continue through the afternoon, we'll continue to see those snow flurries just continue to taper off, but maybe linger south of Highway 50. We'll likely still hold on to some of that cloud cover throughout the Sierra, but just past sunset, all of that will be wrapped up, and we'll just mostly end the day with some clouds. Lisa?
All right, Melanie, thank you so much for all that information.